Howdy ho, my peeps. We are here to talk to you about a product. The people at Stroika, who I have worked with in the past on several different products, they approached me and asked if I would be interested in showing, oops, let's turn the product right side up, in talking about this magnetic gun mount. Well, I thought about it. Particularly now, with all the issues of shootings and so forth, I know that this is a product that is controversial. However, I wanted to talk about it, and I also want to talk about ways that I would have used this product. I am not a handgun owner. However, I have, after looking at this thing and thinking about it, I realized there are ways that I would have used this in my safety program when I was traveling across the country with my friend Abigail. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that in a second. But first, for those of you who are handgun owners, I wanted to show this to you. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. It has a little card that talks about how to install it. It installs with screws, and then there's also a glue strip kind of mount on the back of the thing that, you know, you're going to mount this wherever. You can mount it under a cabinet, you can mount it in a safe, you can mount it you know, anywhere that where you're going to want to have quick access to your handgun. I shouldn't even have to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Obviously, this is not a product you're going to use if there are any children around, if you're in a room that is relatively, or a space that's relatively insecure. I'm not going to lecture you guys about gun safety or anything having to do with guns. I'm simply going to show you how this thing works. Okay, so Grant, can you please pick up your firearm and it's, yeah,
No,
okay. And I want you to, I'm going to show you guys how this thing works from the top. It's extremely secure.
Very strong magnet.
Very strong magnet.
And it has a plastic surface on it so it won't scratch anything.
Yeah. And now, if we come at this from the side with this thing, I'm going to do it from this side. It's pretty strong. However, if you on a handgun that's like this handgun, it's going to hold it securely. However, on a revolver, it's a little bit weak if you've secured the barrel down towards the end of the barrel. I'm not going to show you that, but when we used a revolver, we found that the gun would the weight of the revolver would pull it. It wasn't real secure. However, when the revolver was secured from this position, it's very strong. So it was very secure. Okay, so here you go, darling. I'm going to hand you back your handgun. Now, I'm imagining, okay, well, first of all, we're in the United States, so from state to state, gun laws are different. Those of you who travel with a handgun, you know, you guys, if you're not up on the rules from every state, you better be if you're going to be traveling around. But, you know, as I was looking at this project, I was thinking more in terms of businesses. I have never lived in a big city, and I have never worked in a sketchy part of a big city around valuables. But I imagine that people who work in, let's say, the jewelry industry or any business where you have high ticket items where you're putting yourself in danger by even working there, or for that matter, a convenience store.
Or a pawn shop.
Or a pawn shop, that kind of thing. I imagine that a device like this could really come in handy, particularly if you work behind a grill of some kind, but you're still you still are in danger just by working, you know, where you work. I imagine that that mounting a gun under a counter or in a spot where it's easily retrievable is something that goes on daily. So if you out there do work in that kind of a field, take a look at this very strong magnet, and it might work into your safety program. Okay, now I mentioned travel, and now I want to talk to you about how I would use this thing and how I will, because this is going to be mounted actually in a probably a trailer. When Abigail and I went on our trip, we talked about handguns. Should one of us buy a handgun, register it, and take it with us? We decided no. Neither one of us have enough experience with handguns to feel comfortable taking one with us. I feel real comfortable with a shotgun. But I didn't want to bring my shotgun, okay? Plus, I don't think my shotgun would hold onto this magnet. So we decided to travel without guns. However, what we did travel with were cans of wasp spray, all right? Wasp spray is a really effective deterrent, because a wasp spray it goes how many feet? Like 15 feet?
Or 20 feet.
15 or 20 feet. When you spray that, you get that in somebody's face, in their eyes, you're going to drop them down. So we each slept with a can of wasp spray next to our beds. All right, so I would just put my wasp spray on the floor, and half the time I would kick it over when I got up, or it would roll around. You know, we didn't have any way to really secure our wasp spray. Now, with something like this, we do. This isn't wasp spray. This is some other chemical that's in here, but it's got the same kind of nozzle as wasp spray, so we're going to use it as our sample. I would have mounted this right within hand's reach on the wall of the trailer so that I had a place for my security device, and I could, if we were scared at night, I could just grab the thing off the wall and accidentally spray Abigail.
No, I hope not.
Yeah. So now, so that is how I personally would use this magnet device. Also, it could be used to. Do you have your Leatherman? You can also use it if your preferred device is a knife.
We'll just leave the Leatherman open.
Okay. All right. So your knife is going to go to the wall really nicely. There are probably many other sort of security devices that you could use that are made of steel that could be attached within arm's reach. Again, Abigail and I did not travel with children, so if we were traveling with children, we would have figured out a way to keep our wasp spray, which is dangerous, secured. And certainly if we had been traveling with a firearm, we would have used a different sort of security device. You know. Also, I just want to say that if you use a gun mount like this in your home life or your work life, again, it should go without saying that you're only securing your firearm to this when you're right there with it. If you take off for lunch, your firearm needs to go in its safe, or whatever you do with it, whatever your local rules tell you have to do it. But for quick access to a security device, whatever you choose to use, this thing is great. I mean, it really would have solved a problem for me if I'd had this when we were doing our traveling. So if this is a device that you can see using in your life, please look down in the down bar below. You're going to see a coupon code or a link that will take you to a reduced price, and you can get a gun mount. All right. So thanks so much for watching this, and we will talk to you guys later.